Cause it seems like if I don't tell you this tonight, cause it seems like if I don't tell you this tonight. Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy JunSix. I want to start this video blog series about different things, and you can put this on YouTube and everything like that. And the first one that came to my mind that I want to share with y'all is the whole concept of, or the whole topic of, profanity, cuss words. You know, a lot of people have different views on cuss words, right? And I think the different views that you have with regards to cuss words is, one, you know, there's people that are wondering whether or not it's right or wrong, right? And then, of course, people wondering, oh, is it really that bad to say a cuss word? Or people who have reasons that they justify using profanity and cuss words in music, cuss words in movies. You know, a lot of things come up when you think about curse words, and when you think about the whole concept of a curse word or a cuss word or profanity, you know, I think a lot of times we in a lot of subjects, I think we overthink things a whole lot, and then at some point we overthink things because we don't necessarily want to give up certain things. So we kind of think, it's almost like if someone says, hey, you know, don't, like when they said, oh, you know, to love your neighbor. Who is my neighbor? If you genuinely want to know who is your neighbor, then perhaps you might have an issue with loving your neighbor. It seems like it should be a no-brainer if someone says love your neighbor. You don't have to think too hard on who is your neighbor. You just love your neighbor, no matter who it is. But that's how we are. We think sometimes when we don't want to just go and do it. You know, if someone says there's $1 million over there, go get it. You're just gonna go and get it. You're not gonna ask any questions. You're not gonna rationalize it. You're not gonna say, is the money old? Is the money new? Where did it come from? Is it legal? Is it illegal? Is it, you know, is it wired to me? Is it in physical? Is it in big bags? How is the money? You just go get the money. But let's go back to the topic: cuss words, profanity. One of the things that I think that maybe we don't ever look to when it comes to this is the actual word, curse words, profanity, curse words, profanity. When you think about the fact that it is called a curse word, the fact that it is called profanity, anything that falls into the category of profanity comes from the word profane. Profane. And when you think of the concept of profane, it's something that is, you know, maybe disrespectful towards, or to profane something. In the word, in God's word, they talk about how, I believe Nadab and Abihu, they were told to get fire from a certain place to please God. This was instruction given by God. And they went and got what the word refers to as profane fire, strange fire. It was not acceptable. It was different from what was expected. And so therefore, they had to undergo punishment, God's wrath, for coming with profane fire. So when you look at the word profane, to profane something does not mean to speak highly of. It doesn't mean to give value to. To profane something, it's somewhat like a disrespect, if I'm understanding this correctly. So when you think of profane, and then you think of the word profanity, then it makes you say, okay, well, profanity doesn't sound like a good thing, right? What else do we call them? We call them curse words. Curse words. So if it's called a curse word, what is the opposite of cursing, right? The opposite of to curse something is to bless something. If you curse something, you're not speaking well of that. You wish destruction in a sense. If you curse somebody, you're not going to curse them with something good. No one ever says, oh man, I've been cursed with good looks. Only when you're joking. You say, oh, I've been cursed with good looks. I can't help myself, you know. But most of the time when someone refers to something as a blessing, it's a good thing. It's a positive thing. To bless someone is to speak well of someone. To bless the Lord is to speak well of the Lord and bless his name. Give him all kinds of... If you curse the Lord's name, you're probably not in a good position, right? To curse someone's name. Think about your movies. Think about when someone goes, oh, curses, curse you, Perry the Platypus. I mean, for those who watch Phineas and Ferb. So cursing is not a positive thing. It does not mean you speak well of something. It does not give grace upon to the person that you're cursing. To curse someone is to not say anything. You would never tell someone, I curse you. How do you feel? That's not how cursing is. So if the word curse is the opposite of the word bless, when you have a curse word, it seems to have a different meaning to it. They're not called bless words, right? They're called curse words. So the reason I said those 2 points is that I want you to kind of get a good sense of what these words are. And when you understand what those words are, then you can understand why there's a problem with it. Why do you think censorship cuts it out, even though they've gotten lenient as of late? But why do you think it's considered a curse word, considered profanity? Curse words, profanity. There is a reason. And so when you understand fully what those words are, then you have to ask yourself, is it worth saying? Right? If it's not a blessed word, right? And I mean, you can try to call somebody an MEFer and consider it a blessing to tell that to someone, but you're really kind of stretching it, don't you think? So when you consider that, you definitely can understand the value of words that don't come with that. You can curse someone without saying a curse word. That's true. But that is an action behind it, by saying, I hope you get hit by a car or something like that, or saying awful things about someone. Yes, that's cursing someone. You're not blessing them. You're not giving them any grace. But a curse word in and of itself, when it's called a curse word, you have to consider whether or not it's worth saying, because regardless of how you feel, because a lot of people like to go and do the whole broad, I can't find the definition for it, but there's a lot of times where people like to do the whole what is excuse. And I think that's something that people use to get out of something. Like when someone says, oh, that's the truth. And they go, what is truth though? Really, what is truth? Why are we here? And you start trying to get it convoluted and get away from the fact of the matter. So when someone says, oh, it's a cuss word. Oh, well, what if 10 years from now, sandwich becomes a cuss word, or that becomes profane? You can't say sandwich. Well, guess what? As of right now, sandwich is not a cuss word. If you call somebody a sandwich, they may, look at you weird, but it's not a cuss word. Sandwich is not a cuss word. Hello is not a cuss word. Feel good, great, happy. These words, they never fall in the category of curse words. In some languages, if you say bloody in a different way, then bloody is considered a profanity in a sense. There are some cultural things, but understanding, regardless of what sets that to be a curse word, it is. And while it is, you have to consider whether or not it's worth saying. Right? Because, you can always do that. You can always argue, well, this may change in such and such years or whatever, but the concept. So, and God talks about that. Someone who knows the right thing to do and then does the opposite, to them it's a sin. Someone who says, I don't think God would approve of me doing this, and does it anyway, that's to them is a sin. If someone says, I don't think that this is a good word to say, and you say it, well, you've already given it the curse word persona. But with that being said, we already know what the curse words are, right? Yes, you will feel weird if you say F-U-C-K in the wrong setting. Some people are very comfortable with it, but they still, even in their comfort zone, even though they fully know in their mind, their heart of hearts, I'm okay with saying them, they still know full well it's a curse word. They still know full well it's profanity. So they're not going to ever deny it. No one's going to sit there and say, F you, and, oh, this MEFer came over to the store, and they were talking a bunch of ish, and blah, 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 blah. They know good and well that they're saying curse words. They just don't find anything wrong with it. So, let's see if we can navigate whether or not it's right or wrong. And based on what I've said, based on what God has said about profane and bless and don't curse your neighbor, and you know, your words must impart grace upon the hearers. A lot of things that we're required to do with our speech, you know, it entails that falls along with it. You know, it's very hard for me and a lot of people, and I know, you know, I might strike a nerve. It's very hard for me to tell you that I believe in Jesus and I love him and I'm serving him with all my heart and blah, 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 and give him praises and then drop a couple F-bombs afterwards. It's very hard for you to substantiate my faith and find credibility in that. And yes, some people have found a nice little dichotomy. It's okay. I'm just a cursing Christian. Okay. But we are called to bless. So if we are called to bless, how then do you now become a cursing Christian? Consider that. And yeah, we all got things that we used to do. We're used to doing. It comes out of our mouth. It rolls off the tongue. There's things that we say. So yes, people do grow up hearing curse words and saying curse words. So coming in contact with the blood of Jesus in baptism, coming in contact with Jesus and confessing his name and turning your life around and repenting and doing all the things that you're supposed to, does not immediately, poof, remove what you're used to. At the same time, it doesn't absolve you from the responsibility of working on that. So, I don't know if that sheds any light, if that makes any sense, if everything, you know, whatever. But that's my take on curse words. Understand what they are. Understand why they're called curse words. And then go from there and ask yourself if it's something that you should say. There is a reason that even kids, you know, in the entertainment industry, you know, with the exception of some, they don't say a single curse word until they're like 18. Well, why? Why does that require a certain age to say that? To say the F word? Probably because it's maybe not something you should be saying at all. Because remember, work on saying bless words. They're called curse words for a reason. It's called profanity for a reason. Hit me up with some comments. Let me know what you think about that. You know, it is what it is. And as always, I'm just going to kind of spout off, you know, what I'm thinking, and hopefully it'll help you. Hopefully it'll stimulate discussion. It'll stimulate discussion in your mind. And ultimately, I want everyone thinking about, you know, about God and about what he wants from you and about his realness and the blessings that he's given us. All right, y'all. Bless. Do not curse. Bless others. I'm out. June.